So
Topic number two, guys. Battlefield reveal trailer. So yesterday, EA had a live stream countdown, which they revealed finally the next installment for Battlefield, calling it now Battlefield 2042. So we have a title, fantastic. We have a release date as well, October 22nd for all major platforms.
soon.
So that includes last gen and this gen as well. And some tidbits from the countdown that they showed was 128 players for next gen and PC players, which is amazing, right?
It's
And
big.
then 64 players for last gen games, which makes sense.
Big.
No campaign for this, which is a little interesting. I'm gonna go through all the topics and then we'll talk about it after. So no campaign, dynamic worlds. So they showed a little bit of tornadoes and kind of dynamic weather. They didn't go into too much detail as far as that goes.
Yep.
And fully customizable loadouts, which is probably one of my highlights for this. So there's four classes, like we know. There's medic, assault, sniper, etc. But now you're able to fully customize your loadouts on the fly. It doesn't have to be when you die or anything like that, which is pretty cool. And gameplay, again, like I said, gameplay reveal for June 13th. So what? That's tomorrow? No, 3 days from now. So we'll have some good content to talk about in 3 days because they'll have a reveal trailer for it. So that's pretty hype. So what'd you think? You watched the trailer. It was a CGI trailer. What'd you think of the trailer?
It was dope. I was hyped for it. I was just like, okay. So the first thing I'll say is that I was like, oh, they're doing like the Modern Warfare thing with Battlefield. I was I was hyped as the trailer went on. I got more hyped about it. 'Cause
Excuse
it
me.
looked
When
cool.
you mean by that, you mean like the futuristic like elements to it that they were showing? Is that what you mean? By
So,
that?
let me rephrase this. When I first when they revealed the name, and I saw it's 2042, I was like, they're doing Modern Warfare. So I was like, and then as the trailer went on, it's showing all the different type of things you could do in the game. I was like, okay, this is cool. This is their take on this, and they do it well. I was disappointed that it wasn't Battlefield 6. Like, it wasn't like a next iteration of
Really?
the series. Yeah, I was really hoping for Battlefield 6, but
Okay.
it's cool what they're doing, right? Like with the flight suits and stuff like that. So I got the trailer got me excited.
Okay. See, my take on it was going back to what you said about having it be Battlefield 2042 instead of 6. I like that they kind of shifted.
You like that
towards-
better? Oh, that's interesting.
Well,
Okay.
only because it makes sense again from a business standpoint. Like if you think of what Battlefield 5 did to them, it did pretty poorly on their end, right? Like it didn't
Compared
sell
to
well,
4,
and it
yeah.
kind of went and gone. Like that's it. So they kind of, my guess is they try to remove themselves from that like toxic, like oh, going to number 6, right? So they changed the title completely to kind of differentiate it from kind of like what they did with Battlefield 1, right? They kind of changed like the whole entire title. So I think that's what they did with this too. So and I don't mind the title. I think the title's cool. It's 2042. Like it makes it that futuristic feel. Going back to the trailer, I think the trailer again, like I said before, I'm not a huge fan of CGI trailers, but this one did it for me. Like this one looked pretty cool. It gave you a glimpse of what you can
You can do.
expect. And
Yeah,
what you
in
can
an
do.
actual game.
And
Because it did
that's-
say
Yep.
it was captured using the in-game stuff. So
Exactly.
what you can
And
do in the trailer.
if you're gonna do CGI, that's what I want. I want you to at least tell me or show me what I'm gonna be doing in a crazy format, in a crazy CGI trailer, which
Yeah.
they did. So I'm excited for the settings. I think the maps that they showed were pretty cool. There was a lot of different landscapes and different seasons that they showed too, which was pretty cool. And I'm excited for again like the customizable loadouts. I think that is something that Call of Duty basically introduced when it came to okay, you can customize your loadout, but you can only customize it when you die. And now it's a pain in the ass, right? But now if you can just customize on the fly, I feel like it changes the dynamic when you're in the field. Like let's say you're in close quarters, right? And then you go into this open world like area, right? And you're a sniper and like an assault or something, and you have to change. You don't want to be like, or if I'm like I have like medic or something, I want to change to sniper. I can just do that on the fly. I don't have to wait till I die. So I think that changes a lot of the dynamic there, and I think that's pretty cool. It kind of keeps you on your toes as well. And then 128 players, like that's massive, and that goes to show you what next gen is going to be doing. Like we don't think about those things. Like that's the last thing I thought about coming into next gen was like, oh, we're going to have a higher player count, and this is it shows that we're gonna be improving the tech when it comes to next gen by having 128 players. Like that's gonna be insane. It's gonna be an all-out battlefield, which is pretty dope. No pun intended. So yeah, so I'm excited. So what do you think of the no campaign though? Like what does that speak to you? Like I know Battlefield isn't really on the campaign heavy side of it. Like a lot of people go and gravitate towards the multiplayer side of it. But what do you think about having no campaign?
So we're gonna bring up the price now,
Let's do
and
it. Yeah.
you're charging $70 for this game for just multiplayer. That's all you're offering. That doesn't cut it. Granted, me personally, I'm not a big shooter campaign guy. Sure. I personally think they're repetitive. It's the same thing over and over again. You know what I mean? And the fact that I'm just like, oh, I'm just killing a bot or whatever. You know what I mean? It doesn't really do it for me when it comes to shooters.
Yeah.
I really like that competitive nature when it comes to the multiplayer aspect.
Yeah.
So that to me, just do a multiplayer. Now, if they made it $40-$50, okay, then that's more reasonable, right? But the fact that you're charging that much money for it, you know what would be the power move? You know what would be the absolute power move if they just made it free to play?
Ooh.
That would be like...
I didn't think of that.
Yeah, that would be a power move, but they didn't do that, right? It's probably because like the amount of development took to create everything and all that kind of stuff. They're like, you know... So with that $70 being said, look at Call of Duty, and I think it's what you were going to say. Call of Duty, for $60-$70, you get campaign, you get multiplayer, you get zombies and Spec Ops, right? And if Battle Royale, if you want that, it's free. And if if you play and your friend doesn't play it or doesn't want to pay for it, he could play Battle Royale with you. Right. So looking at that $70 versus you just get multiplayer, but a multiplayer is really good, but I get all this for $70 there. Why would I buy this here? And Battlefield tends to be a little bit more on the wavy side as far as like, do I trust it? Do I trust you, DICE? Compared to Call of Duty, I know I'm getting every time.
Sure. Yeah, this is a uphill battle, right, that they have to face, and they have to really be smart about their next move because they announced the game, they announced a little bit of information of it, and everything so far that they've shown is pretty cool. But not having a campaign isn't a major deal, in my opinion, just because, again, it's not something that everyone gravitates towards. Everyone that gravitates towards Battlefield games or FPS games, for the most part, unless you're talking about Halo, it's multiplayer, right? Because I feel like Halo has a good balance between story and multiplayer. Like people love the story.
Everyone loves the story.
So when it comes to everything else, I feel like multiplayer is just where you go, right? And they have to be really smart about this. Like their campaign has to be on point, and they have to basically sell you why you should buy this game for $70, and you're only getting multiplayer and not even a battle royale, because they didn't even talk about a battle royale in this game. So you're just strictly getting multiplayer. So it's tough, right? Like they have to sell you on this game hard. They have to say, this is why you need to buy this game, and this is what differentiates us between the 10 other FPS games. Because they're going up against Apex, Call of Duty. They're going up against
PUBG,
Overwatch, PUBG. Like there's so many games out there. Fortnite. Like there's still so many games. I mean, it's not considered an FPS game, but it's still a game in that landscape that people,
that's where players are going, right? That's where
players are going. And if you want to take a piece of that pie, you have to differentiate yourself in this date and time. Like how is a different story. And if you don't have that battle royale aspect to it, that's hard, because battle royale is what it is right now, and whether you like it or not, it's hot, and that's what everyone is playing right now, right? And if you don't have that aspect, that's fine. You can have your multiplayer side to it, but you got to keep the players engaged, because Battle Royale, it does a phenomenal job of keeping players engaged with all, the new content and the live service, the live service that they do. Like that's what keeps everyone engaged. But if you don't have that, what are you gonna give to the players?
Last thought on this subject: what's the DLC going to be like? Like, are you going to charge us for DLC? You're going to charge $30 to be able to play this portion of the multiplayer.
Right.
Are you going to do microtransactions? You're probably going to do microtransactions. So it's like, okay, if I'm going to still pay you anyways to get some of this stuff, why don't you just make the game free? I'm not saying to make the game free, but I'm saying I'm telling them to make the game free.
Well, I think you brought up a very good point. Like, what if? Like, let's just sit there for a second. What if they made this game free to play? Like, how
I played day
epic
one,
would
and
that be? You know what I mean? I mean, I'm sure it's not smart from a business standpoint on their end, because they probably didn't think about that from the get, like, you know, in pre-production.
I'm sure they did. I don't
right,
worry,
yeah,
DICE did. Yeah,
they could have. You're right. And they probably thought it wasn't feasible for them, whatever. But if they actually made that jump and, hey, this is gonna be free to play, similar to Apex, like, imagine the conversation we'll be having now. I feel like it'd be completely different. Although I'm excited, I'm psyched for this. I was a little disappointed when they didn't announce any Battle Royale, to be honest. But because, again, we've talked about this, right, where Battle Royale has that, for me, in my opinion, it just has those epic moments where you don't get anywhere else, even if it's just playing multiplayer as well. Like, you're having those moments in the last, 10 minutes of the game where your heart is like pounding, your palms are sweaty, you're like glaring.
Like yesterday
with that W that we got. Yep, facts. And we're just glaring into that, and you just don't know what's gonna happen, and you don't know if you're gonna win, but you're like super like pumped. You know what I mean? You get that in multiplayer, but not to that extent.
I mean, I'm just gonna go over here and show everyone.
Oh, you're just gonna show them? You're just gonna flex?
Yeah, I don't know if you guys can see that.
You gotta remove your face, like cover your face.
Oh, no, that's not working.
No, don't like cover your. You're an idiot.
We're done with that. But we basically won yesterday. And I took a video of it because we're awesome. So that failed miserably. My God.
Yeah, that was bad. I might have to cut that out, but I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna let everyone watch that. So this is hard. This is gonna be a tough battle for them. I'm interested to see, because I want DICE to succeed. I want them to really be kind of like how it was in the past, where Call of Duty and Battlefield always had that like friendly competition going on.
Bad Company too, man. That's what they needed.
Yeah, and I think DICE can do it. I really do think DICE can step up the game. But I don't know, man. That $70 is hurting for real. But we'll see. I don't know. Any final thoughts on that?
Nah, make the game free and all.
You really want that shit free? Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I don't want to pay $70 for that. Come on.